Hello, I'm Tex Andrews with the LightZone project, and in this video and a subsequent video, I'm going to be talking about saving and converting routines in LightZone. Let's start with saving. I have a folder open from our folder tree. It corresponds to the film strip down here. One of the images has been selected, and we see the image preview here. I'm going to click Edit and get started on an editing procedure. Here we come up in the editor module. This is a raw file. I'm going to make a couple of very quick adjustments to this. Normally, I really enjoy playing around in the digital darkroom, especially with LightZone, but this particular project requires I do very little to my images. Don't also infer from these sharpening settings that that's what you should do. Everybody's got their own opinions about sharpening. This particular sharpening is geared towards my particular camera and this particular project and what I intend to do with it. You'll have to find your own correct sharpening. So now that I have done what I'm going to do to this image, I'm going to hit the Done icon up here on the editor menu bar. It's saving. We're going to go right back to the browser module. I'm going to resize the window here and resize these thumbnails a bit so I can make these points about what we're doing. I'm also going to deselect this one image, and so ignore the image that's up in the preview pane right now and just look at these two. Here was the original and here is the file of what I just did in the LightZone editor. Note that now they are linked together with this light gray surround. This is important to understand. The essence of LightZone's non-destructive editing is that the original is never touched. You're not actually doing anything to the original. The original is being used as a reference point. And when you save your edits in LightZone, they're saved to this file, which is a sidecar file, appended with an LZN suffix. It is a JPEG file, but it is not a full 16-bit file. It's an 8-bit JPEG. Obviously, it's lossy. It's really intended as a preview with the set of instructions from the editing session. And these two guys have to be associated with one another. If you separate these two, LightZone will not be able to find the original if you're clicking on the edited JPEG LZN file. They need to stay together. So if you're going to move these things around, move them together. Now let's go up here to the main menu. I'll click on Edit. I'll bring down Preferences, and we get a new box. There are 3 tabs at the top of the box. The middle one is Save. Let's take a look at that. And before we do anything, let's read what's in this box down at the bottom. Specify the image file format LightZone should use when it saves your work. Smaller image files will make LightZone faster, and that is true. So at the top, you can decide which type of file you want. If you want LightZone to run faster, definitely choose JPEG. Here you can choose your color profile with drop-down menu there. Here is Resize to. You have several presets and a Don't Limit. I've selected the smallest preset. You have your rendering intent here. You can choose that. You can choose quality, and you can choose your pixels per inch. You can use the LightZone JPEG file for things like uploading to the web, for emailing to someone a preview of something. But my suggestion is that if you really want the best quality file to use in another program, to possibly send to printing, etc., then you want to use the TIFF and you want to increase the size of that file. TIFFs are not lossy, so that's a better file to use if you're going to go to another program, print out of another program. LightZone does very good printing and it does very good up-resing. If you're going to do a lot of printing out of LightZone, you might want to sacrifice the speed and make your files big and use the TIFF. I'm going to close this. And once again, just highlight that, again, the essence of LightZone's non-destructive editing system is that the original is not touched. When you save, you create this new LightZone JPEG file, which is really a sidecar file. used to work within the program, although you can use it in limited ways outside the program. So I hope that clarifies something about how LightZone does saving. In the next video, we'll talk about converting your files in LightZone to something else.